So as you're chasing your big dream in business and your personal life, because there is a difference between our business and our personal lives, but who we are in our business is who we are in our life, and who we are at home is who we are. It's just who we are. And so as you're chasing that big dream, what do you figure out is your biggest challenge?
There's so many things along the way, and I love, in response to what's the one thing that'll make you successful. The one thing is there isn't one thing. And so I think probably the meta answer is knowing that there will be challenges, and then getting, as we like to say, strong enough to bear the burden of the blessing that you're asking for, because every blessing or every dream comes with a price, comes with a cost, comes with an exchange. And if we're not clear on what that exchange is, oftentimes we can find ourselves down a path that we're making an exchange we didn't bargain for, or that we're not ready to give up. And I think that's one of the saddest places people can be. So definitely anticipate that there are challenges ahead. And what we do in order to address those challenges is really to develop ourselves and our faculties in a way that build skills that might not necessarily come to mind at first. Resilience, right? More articulate communication, being able to delegate better. So the things where we're really trying to build those things, because we know that the burden of the blessing that we're asking for is probably pretty heavy. We want to help people develop themselves and grow their characters and feel fulfillment and find purpose. And that's a messy path that all humans were meant to walk, but many of us don't or shy away from. And so wanting to do that and help others means that's a heavy burden that will come with lots of challenges, both specific and large.
I hear you there. And we just don't know what shows up on our path and what's standing in our way sometimes. And so being able to be flexible and understanding that it's a challenge. And
right. It's kind of like that. The biggest challenge is don't wish it were easy or wish you were better. So try and make yourself better, make ourselves more resilient, or just get through it. Right. So much of what's happening in the world is just from quitting. And it gets hard and things suck. And that growth happens outside of your comfort zone, but no one's telling you what uncomfortable actually looks like. So when you feel uncomfortable for your specific situation, it makes you want to retract in such an evolutionary way that we instantly forget that growth happens outside of our comfort zone.
Well, I think it illuminated for us this whole path that we have influence if maybe we focus on some of those skills that don't seem obvious, right? It's not learning how to build a landing page, but it's learning how to habitually seek to understand somebody before you just barrel in with a response or with a reaction. So these kinds of more social emotional skills really character building that have helped us along the way, because the ups and downs happen regardless, and what you do in the midst of that, and whether you stop and backslide, it's really up to you and how much resilience you can bear.
I hear personal responsibility, taking personal responsibility for the ups and downs and riding the wave and sticking with it and really being resilient to holding on and staying true to that big dream.
Now, personal responsibility is not to be confused with self-flogging and saying, well, this horrible thing is happening right now, or something's really bad in my life, and therefore it's because of me. Because many of us say, well, I take personal accountability for everything. I feel horrible for all the bad things that are going on in my life. But taking personal responsibility means that while you're in the midst of the horrible things that are going on, you're taking responsibility for how you feel and how you respond to those circumstances, not saying, well, I take 100% accountability for everything that's happening. It's not quite like that.
The other place that we see that getting confused too is that difference between fault and responsibility. But it's not my fault. It's not a lot of the things that happen aren't your fault.
COVID is not your fault.
Right. But it's your responsibility to lead your life, your business, your family through the situation of COVID. So sometimes I think people get hung up on the word responsibility because they think it equates fault. But when we separate those out, it can help us really understand where responsibility can be a much more empowering approach to things rather than a disempowering excuse.
Beautiful.